You guys ready? You guys know the three words that are about to come out of my mouth, right? It's the same three words that I used on Tuesday. You ready? Vitor Machado Ferreira. Vitor Machado Ferreira. That's Vitinha, by the way. But PSG 3, Brest 0. Usually when we look at these PSG games, especially in Ligue 1, I want to see. Okay, Brest was good for the past two Ligue 1 seasons. So I don't want to say against lower opposition, but whenever you don't play a team that is Strasbourg, Rennes, Lille, Lyon, Marseille, I think that's about it. I think those are the games where you're like, you look at the way PSG performs, especially as a collective, and see what you can deduce of it, or how confident can you be in the next games. For example, we played against Lille. It was 1-1 and it was kind of scary. You played against Marseille, you drew 1-0, and you knew that what could happen after, right? You played Lille, you played Strasbourg. You knew that whenever you drop points against Marseille, it'd be a direct reflection on the way in which you'll approach the other games. So the big games in Ligue 1 is mostly like a reflection on how your season is gonna go in these other big games, right? To go into the first game of the season, you dominate Marseille. You know that whenever you're gonna play Lille, Rennes, Strasbourg, it should be a walk in the park. You know that if you lose against Marseille, you're probably going to struggle against the rest of the teams, right? That's usually the way that it has gone, and that's the way the season is going. So Brest, we dominated the game really. I want to say from start to finish. The lineup was when we look at these league lineups, we look at the non-starters. So me personally, I like to look at, for example, today Lucas Hernandez, Kangin Lee, Mayulu, and Zaire Emery. These are the guys that started today that don't usually start. And I've been really impressed this start of the season by these three players. The way they come in, the way they've been able to help and compensate for some of these injuries that PSG has had, especially Mayulu and Zaire Emery. Zaire Emery has looked excellent for the past month or so, like I mentioned in the last video. But Mayulu's looked excellent for, I want to say, since the beginning of the season. I want to say since August. Since the season started, he's been great. He's been filling in wherever he's needed, whatever that's in center mid, whatever that's up top. He's been excellent for the team, and I'm really impressed by his performances, right? So Signy, France, it's a bit tough to, get into the side. So if you want to play AFCON this winter, Congo, we do need some midfielders. So Seni Mailu this, an invite to join the Congo. But anyway, so I think Seni's looked excellent. For the past 3 months or so. And really, there's not much to get from this performance, right? I really think that the way in which Luis Enrique will leave from these games or leave from these Liga games is really how strong our bench is as a whole. Nuno Mendes gets injured. We have Luca Hernandez, which is obviously not the same profile, not the same player at all. But I believe that's a starting left back somewhere in Europe, right? That's a role player or a rotation player for PSG right now. So the bench is getting stronger. The youngsters are getting better. Whether that's Mayulu and by Zay Henry, which is we still like 18 or 19. I don't know. He's super young, but I truly think that we're on a path to, I don't know, we're on a it's a we're on a great path to whatever it's continuous success or continuity, simply because of the way in which the team operates, right? It's like a well-oiled machine. You have Vitinha, who's the architect, the glue, the whatever you want to think of, was man of the match for me today. I think it was amazing. Whether that is controlling the ball, passing, or controlling the pace of the game, whether it's passing, whether it's defending, he was excellent. But to come back to my previous point, I really think that we're turning into a new era where PSG is really about to be. They're already a European giant, but I think they're going to be a dominant force in the foreseeable future, simply due to the work of what Luis Enrique is doing, um, bringing this quote unquote, making sure that everyone within the group matters, right? There's none of these players that play these games that believe that they don't matter and they believe that if we're to replace him for that other person, the standards or the quality of our level will drop. I think that everyone understands their role and everyone understands that we're here for the same goal, which is to win everything. Ligue 1, Coupe de France, UCL. Back in the day, we had la Coupe de la Ligue, but you know what I mean. We're here to win everything that there is, and I think every player within the squad understands that, which is why we're seeing the performance that we're seeing today, right? I mean, the Hernandez looking like a lockdown defender. Mayulu and Zaire running the midfield, taking players on, especially Warren Zaire. I love when he drives the ball forward. He's looked to do so more often. So overall, so far so good. I'm not too sure what else we can say in this performance because it was an expected result, and especially we look at our bench. We had Doué, Dembele on the bench, Marquinhos. So we're getting some of our big hitters back for the big clash against Bayern. But it's always good to not only see the team winning, but seeing players that need confidence performing while we win. That was long to say, but I hope you get my point. But yeah, I think there's nothing else for me to mention. I think that's it. Kimi scored 2 goals. Uh, but that's Hakimi, right? He's a right winger. He's not a right back. He's a right winger. He's different. So I don't know. I don't know what else I can say. It was an enjoyable watch. The pace of the game was a bit slow. That usually tends to happen whenever you watch lesser opposition in Ligue 1 against PSG because they'll just have 5 times the amount of possession that you usually have. So the pace of the game was a bit slow, deep block and so on, but good game. PSG wins 3-0, 3 goals, clean sheet. Then Boo's got his 25, 30 minutes under him. Doué scored. Yeah, now I think Marseille's playing right now against the Racing Club de Lens, but I'm gonna double check that. Hopefully they lose, you know. Hopefully. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. That was my Pat-Nalysis. Pretty simple game. Nothing else to add. Just positive, really, from everyone that plays. And the 4 names to take out of this: Vitor Machado Ferreira, Warren Zaire-Emery, Mayulu, and Hernandez. Those are key players that I think those are players that we'll look at today. And then let's say we're still fighting for the first place in Ligue 1. We're still on our way to la finale de la Coupe de France, or we're still in the quarterfinals or semifinals of the UCL. We'll look at our bench options and feel pretty confident of these kind of players plugging in. I said it though last week, right back. I don't know if I said midfielder or attacker. But I'm assuming I said attacker. I'll double check. But right back in an attacker, or I lied. I think I said midfielder. Right back in an attacker. I say we'll repeat. But overall, super happy. And yeah, that was my Pat-Nalysis. And see you guys next time.